Oh, okay. We seem a little bit light on the ground today, but anyway. So the coordinates package, there's the notebook in the chat from the coordinates package.
Mhm.
The analytic pi over 4 tests now work, okay. After I redid the mathematics, or more accurately, got SunPy to redo my mathematics for me.
Very good.
They now work perfectly fine. You score numeric floating point precision on all of those. So that's encouraging.
Yep.
The WCS tests, we still seem to have around a 1% margin on them.
So that's comparing with
the
original. Yeah. So those, well, 1% seems kind of high, seems kind of bad, but it's certainly true that the IDL output only goes out to a few digits, like not as many as Python. So those,
but
those
I mean, you're way above. Yep. You're way above that. There's something else going on.
So did you add? Yeah, you don't have the comparison with the original WCS code here.
Yeah, right down the bottom.
Oh, at the bottom? Oh, there it is. Yeah. I mean, the HEC to HPC should be exactly the same. I mean, I looked at the equations. They looked exactly the same.
Yeah, I know, right? They are the same. We copied and pasted the code. Like, we didn't screw it. We copied and pasted the code. So I still need to write. Me or British still need to do some more stuff on that. I'm still not entirely sold.
How many of that depends from Sun.py?
Well, I mean,
Sun and D.
This is comparing. Are you talking about the difference between IDL and Python? Because just talking about comparing Python and Python.
Yeah. These should definitely be giving the same.
I mean, the SunPy WCS stuff does not use coordinates. I don't see how that would have anything to do with it, but that's one difference.
I haven't spent any of my time debugging the difference between the WCS code and the coordinates code yet. Like, British has looked at it a bit, but I haven't really, so I haven't got any deep, meaningful things to say on the matter apart from the fact that blooming well should be given the same number that it's not. And I've checked like things like floating point precision, like we're using doubles everywhere and things. So there's, I have no idea. Unless quantity's screwing with it. But I don't see how or why that would be happening.
Yeah. Okay. And is this also true for the HG to HCC? You also get 1%?
I don't know. I need to try it out more.
Okay. Okay, well, one step in the right direction, I guess.
Okay, well, I thought we should try and splat some pull requests mainly today. And also kind of cook up a bit of a plan for 0.6 and what things we want to go in 0.6 and what we're going to get done for 0.6.
What's the plan release date for 0.6?
The 1st of November.
No. So, okay. So we probably need like a feature freeze like 1st of October?
Yeah.
Okay. That means we have 1 month to get, if we want, all of the Google Summer Code stuff in.
Uh-huh.
Seems ambitious.
This is my who's going to do that face. Yes. Yes, we're going to have at least a month feature freeze before 0.6 because it's going to be huge. But getting all of that in the space of the next 4 weeks, it's a good goal to have, right? To go for it. The worst that can happen is we fail miserably in a big burning ball of fire. So let's have a look at what's under the 0.6 issue milestone, shall we? Have a serious think about this.
That's it. Never again, because the rules past tanks reached all that.
Has anyone got any insight onto issue 133, which is flagged as 0.6?
33, you said?
Yeah.
That's so old.
So old, man.
I thought we'd dealt with this by putting default to 0.
It does default to 0.
Okay.
So if it doesn't specify CR val 1 and 2 in the header, it will default to 0, which is the point of this issue, right? So we can close it.
I think so, but I'm not an expert in this issue.
I mean, that's what people are taking as the meaning of this issue, is that there was no default on CR val, right?
Yeah. Is it supposed to be 0 or is it supposed to be the middle pixel?
No, CR val is the reference coordinate, whereas CR pix is the reference pixel. So CR pix defaults to the center of the image, and CR val defaults to 0, 0, which is the center of the sun.
Okay, right, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, 0, 0 sounds fine.
Okay, that's one down. Okay, if we keep this up, we'll release 0.6 by the end of the day. So, what's up next? Add a section to the developer guide on testing operations on images, etc. Issue 212.
Oh, there's no way we're going to solve that. Right? In the next few weeks? That's like an open thing that we don't have a solution to?
Yep, that's being bumped. Improve HTTP code reference documentation.
Yeah, that comes from the paper, the reviewer's comment about...
No, this is substantially older than that. This is 260.
Oh, that one.
Oh, yeah. Which we bumped from 0.4 to 0.5.
Well,
I'll guilt Jack about that one and then bump it.
Well, tell him you're going to bump it, though. What about 472? What's going on with 472, David?
I'm fighting with it. It's slow, but I'm getting there. I think that the one in IDL is not good at all.
So where are you getting this from?
So there's this book. It's called Astronomy Calculations, which it's a version of the, or it's like a new edition or a correction edition of the one that is supposed to be based the original Sun calculation from IDL. But
Okay.
I'm going really slowly because there is a lot of stuff which is it's really tricky. Like there is a lot of stuff like you can select different so you can do different calculations depending on the precision you want. So
Right.
I'm trying to do the best I can, but then there is the problem with time. And time in all the questions that we have are like time in Julian dates, but actually it's not Julian dates. It's Julian dates in the TT frame, which is the Earth time frame, not the UTC frame. No frame, sorry. What's it called? Scale. So which there is a correction to do between UTC and this TT, but thankfully the SunPy time is just a 2 letters to write, and it's converting the proper time. And I've checked out with the times that appear in the book, and it seems that that's the right time. And I'm checking and putting the tests for each of the equations based on not just the values that I expect for the equation, but based on other calculations, like the almanacs, the US Navy almanacs use a yearly lower resolution or lower precision equations. I'm using that one to test the higher precision one that we have in the code. And so far, it seems everything is going good, but it's slow.
Mm.
Are you like? I assume you're like writing this up as you go along, right?
Sorry?
So I assume you're like writing this up as you go along, either be it in a notebook or in lots of comments and doc streams and stuff, so that we know where all the numbers have come from.
Yeah. I'm taking really well. You can see in the pull request, I have like a lot of comments and where that comes from and where is the values coming from. The book, the Google book link, if it's from Google book, the reference from the book, everything.
Excellent.
And I hope that I could be able to manage to get somewhere in the next 3 weeks before I leave South Africa. So.
Okay. Well, in that case, we'll keep it flagged as 0.6 for the moment, and you can keep working. And I will. Okay, so that's fine. Bingo plot crashes with linear equals true. Looks like that's another. Looks like that's going to be another bomb.
What is the bingo plot?
That is Callisto.
I tried to use that Callisto spectrogram stuff last week. I don't understand what that is anyway. That's a different problem.
What, the linear?
No, just I couldn't get Callisto Spectrogram to actually do what I wanted it to do.
What do you want to do?
I just wanted to download some data and plot it.
You didn't manage to do it?
No.
Okay. I will check again to see if it works, because I've been using it like so and then like showing the people, so I will try to check that again tomorrow.
It worked in the paper. The paper example works.
I don't know. Maybe I was doing something weird. It's not really important. I'll try and need a code snippet to actually test that bug. Maybe I'll have a go at it. 696, the gallery. I think we can successfully close the gallery issue for now and continue to work on the gallery in the gallery.
Yeah.
I agree.
I had a conversation with a couple of people at SunPy last week, an email thread about the fact that there was some people are going to write a project to turn Python code snippets into a gallery for people like Scikit-Image does at the moment and Scikit-Learn does and stuff. So someone's got some cash, they're going to hire a student and try and build a general project based on Sphinx for building code galleries out of Python scripts rather than out of notebooks. And one of the things they might do is make it so that you can write a Python script and it will allow you to create a notebook for download.
Yeah, that sounds cool.
And the Scikit-Image people have a remote execution environment, so you can fire up their example, change the parameters, and re-execute it.
Huh.
Which is very cool. So it's decidedly possible we might scrap our entire current gallery implementation and go with something else in a couple of versions' time. But what we have net up for the moment works okay. Okay. Continue murdering things. I'm going to bump 783.
Why is this an issue? Oh, I see.
In fact, actually, I think I'm going to scrap the milestone on 783 altogether. It's just a feature request. It can hang there and wait until someone picks it up. I'm going to bump 863 because
I'm actually working on that now.
Okay.
I think we can. That's pretty easy.
Okay. Yeah. Hang around afterwards, and I will talk to you about where I reckon we can put demo data and stuff.
Okay.
957. I thought we swatted this. In fact, we have swatted this because of that failure. This is solved. That's done.
Have we heard from this guy, Kriek?
No. Not in the last 22 days, but I can successfully build Anaconda. I can successfully build SunPy under Miniconda on Windows and run the tests, and they pass. So I'm happy with that.
Okay. Yeah, unless he comes back and says it's still not working for me, then
Yeah.
close.
890. Shall we bump 980? We can continue working on it. I think we've made some progress on that for this release, right?
I don't think we're ever going to close that issue. That's going to be ongoing.
You're talking about 980?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the problem with that one is
Steve. Oh no, someone ate him.
Hmm. Well, it's a very open-ended issue, right? I mean,
Sure, it will go on forever, but
there's nothing wrong with that, I should say.
I'm going to label that easy because it is.
Sorry,
Steve
I'm back.
returns. Okay, so I improved the description of issue 980 a little bit and stuck the easy flag on it because it's a relatively good place for people to start, right? So
Yeah.
I stuck a couple of links in there and a bit of description to kind of get people started on that, and removed the milestone. So we can leave that one as an ongoing issue. 1018. Steve. Andy. Seeing how there's no people requests for it.
That one can be done with Helio. Just saying.
Right, yeah, we talked about this a little bit last meeting. I don't remember. I think we basically came to the conclusion that we need to re-implement what I built first time, so I have to find some time to do that.
Yeah, I would say definitely if we want to bump this to later on, because Helio already does provide this, as David said, and we need to decide what we want to do. I mean, if we go with Helio, then we're technically depending on Helio.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we have to depend on Helio. I'm against just just using Helio as the only source. But there is the capability to do that through Helio. That's what I'm saying. We can implement something for the catalogs. Is fine.
What's the difference? Why? If Helio already does it, what's the problem with relying on Helio to do it?
Well, it's sort of weird because you can get it from the Resi folks, and that's kind of a more, I don't know, I feel like it's a little bit more certain when you're going to the source to get it, as opposed to going to someone else that's then providing you access.
But we
Helio,
don't
what it does
to get all
is
the data from all the services that VSO mirrors through, right? I kind of see your point, but from the sake of if we don't have to code it and we can just use just use Helio, it seems like an easier solution.
Oh yeah. I mean, so the issue is like is just that it's really easy to code up our own, and so the question is like, well, if it's so easy, why not do it? And Andy has done a first cut at it. I agree. I think we need to talk about this a little bit more. I would bump it because we don't need to worry about this now.
Bumpy bump.
Okay.
$10.56. I'm seriously tempted to bump 10.56 because by the time 0.7 comes around, we may well just be able to use WCS acties anyway. So I'm not convinced it's worth the effort.
Sure, it's fine with me. Maybe I'm going to edit this and say map latch lawn grid plotting.
It's
really
somewhat
unclear.
vague.
Okay.
David, 1087.
1087. Yeah, that's on the way.
Okay, good. We'll leave that. 1094. Open pull request. 1094, right? In fact, open pull request labeled with review, if I remember correctly. Yep. How's this going? Travis is being a doofus. Why is Travis being a doofus? Why is the dock breaking?
How can you see the pull request directly from the issue page?
I can't. I just knew it existed.
Okay, because I see that Steve mentioned it in a commit, but that's not the pull request. That's his commit. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, I've just added it as a comment.
Okay.
Yeah, the latest thing I did.
You should have definitely added that the other way around. You should have started closes 94. Is it 90? What is the issue number again?
94.
There we are. We should use that
Oh yeah.
more often.
Okay. The thing is that the titles doesn't read the things. So that has to be in the comments always.
Yeah, here we go. Yeah, that's how it's supposed to be.
Because then when we close the pull request, it closes the issue for us, right?
Yeah.
It seems that you have a bona fide Travis fail in the documentation field on that PR.
In the documentation?
Yes. I don't understand this error message, but it seems to be legit.
Okay, well, I'll try to build it on my machine. Yeah, the last thing I did was now everything returns things in quantities.
Oh,
well,
seconds and stuff.
Yeah, so it's a little bit weird now because we're kind of in between, right, with time deltas and quantities.
Yeah.
So you can get both on this one.
I would argue that we should stick with time delta objects because you can add them to date time objects.
Right. So
the SunPy time objects are kind of quantities.
Huh?
The time thing in SunPy, it cannot behave like quantities as well.
It
Like
does
you
already.
can extract the value.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. See what you mean.
And they have delta time as well. So I wonder if it will solve the two things at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, shipping over to AstroPy time and AstroPy time delta is definitely the way forward. And maybe even considering sending time range into AstroPy once we've done that. But I would argue for the moment we should stick to time delta objects in datetime rather than quantities in seconds.
Well, so what I'm doing now is, so if you do DT, or, well, I changed the name of that. So there was a way that you could get the time delta, and that's still there. But then we also had days, seconds, minutes, and hours. Well, we were missing hours, but I added that. Where you can get the number of minutes, days, seconds, which of the time range, and so that returns as a quantity, because that's not supposed to be a time delta, right? That's technically supposed to be just a number.
Sure, that makes sense.
Yeah. So that's all I've done. Oh, and on the input, there used to be a way to create one where you would say the start time and then the number of seconds, and now it accepts a quantity. So it doesn't have to be a number of seconds; it could be whatever you want.
Or a time delta object.
Or a time delta object, right?
Cool.
Right.
Excellent. No, that's neat. Nice. Okay.
But yeah, I'll look at the goddamn doc. Garbage.
Sphinx battles, they're always fun. Okay. Andy, 1097.
$10.97. What's that?
Your Fermi pull request.
It's a pull request now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can get this done. I just need to convert everything to quantities. Hopefully I get to that in the next week or two.
Wait, sorry, which one was this?
1097.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Hey, British. $1,112. Should probably do that. I'm going to. I can if I do this though, because I have the power.
Should we, just so it's a little bit clearer, can we add issues for the big things? Well, for what we're gonna actually, what
Yes.
Google Summer Code things.
I was thinking we need some more issues. That's definitely
Yeah. So it's easier to see them there, and so that we know what we actually have to do.
I mean, I've added the pull requests, but
Yeah, right. But
to be fair, we should try and distinguish between pull requests and images, and pull requests and issues less, right? Because you can actually attach commits to issues and turn them into pull requests. Just you have to use some command line magic to do it.
okay, I didn't know that. But pull requests, well, now that they've broken out issues and pull requests, I don't know. Seems a little bit stranger. Like a pull request should be associated with an issue, right? It should be fixing something.
Or it is its own issue with a fix attached.
You don't think there should be always be like a separate issue?
AstroPy quite frequently do exactly the opposite, right? Where they quite often don't have separate pull requests and issues. They make the changes on the issues. So I open an issue for a bug fix, and someone attaches the commits to that issue and then merges it.
Okay. Well, whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't really mind. It seems having like an issue and a pull request for things. Sometimes, obviously, it makes a lot of sense, but like doing it as a hard and fast rule could just spawn a lot of issues and pull requests or more issues where we don't need them, right?
Yeah. Right.
Because I mean, if we open an issue for the coordinates package, what's it going to say? Implement a coordinates package, and it's going to sit there until we merge the pull request, and then we're going to close it.
Right.
I mean, yeah, sure, but okay. So I think we actually have. Is everything okay? Is there anything else we want to get into 0.6 that isn't here? Yes, there's a couple of pull requests that need adding to the like large pull requests that need adding to the thing. This one.
Wait, what's the difference between 1131 and then, yeah, what is 1131?
1131 is a combination of British's GSOC work and some of Ashis's GSOC work in an attempt to merge in or make map use the coordinates object.
Okay, so it depends on
Both.
1069.
Yeah.
Okay. And where... Okay, so the Ginja thing is already accepted. So those are the two other things, the unified downloader and coordinates, right?
Yes.
So those are two big things. So I guess the question is, can we get these up and running?
I hope so. Well,
In a month.
frankly, I'm happy to kick back 0.6 until we do, but the goal is to get them up and running in the next month, right?
Yeah.
So we need to get the coordinate stuff sorted and merged in. We need to get the coordinate stuff sorted and merged in, and we need to get the unified downloader and the light curve refactor done.
So where do you see things? Well, the unified downloader we could just take in, right? Pretty much on its own. Like, here's a way to download things, and we wouldn't technically have to change the light curve.
No.
We could change the docs and say, like, look, this is how you would download it, the file, and then you just create the light curve using the file you just downloaded.
We could do that. But
that would be...
in reality, once you rip all the download stuff out, the light curve factory actually isn't that much work.
Okay.
And it's substantially neater if we do both, right?
Yeah. I'm just thinking what the possible paths are to accepting things if we run out of time.
There's no reason why we can't accept the unified downloader without light curve in place. We accept the unified downloader for what it is, and then do light curve separately. But I would rather we do light curve before we release than not, right?
Yeah. I mean, I would rather as well, definitely. But the problem is that you're involved in both of them, right? You're the weakest link right now.
Oh, yeah.
So I guess the question is, if we had to prioritize your time, right, whatever little amount of time we can get from you, would we rather you work on the coordinates or on the light curve factory stuff?
I think the coordinates is more important. We need to get that done.
Yeah.
The light curve factory.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there.
While we're on the topic of unified downloader and the light curve factory, I will draw our attention to pull request 6 on the SEP repo.
On the Oh.
So this spells out a large amount of the this spells out a large amount of the API for the unified downloader, which is already implemented, and the Leica factory, which is not.
Okay. I'll definitely take a look at this.
Rishad, we could do with expanding the hierarchy and attributes section of this, specifically pointing out what bits of what submodules attributes is going to have and stuff.
In the SCP?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, fine. Let me see, I'll get to it.
मेरे यूज कार्ड करो तो अरे हाँ 60,000 मार्क 2009 to 2011 मॉडल ने बुक्स वाले मेंटर
Yeah, we need to schedule another board meeting.
Yes, we definitely need a board meeting within the next month. Because technically we can't merge a lot of these pull requests until we're happy with the SCP. So that needs to happen.
Yep.
Okay,
I'll send an email about that, right?
Yeah, the coordinates SCP is, we're going to do a bit more work on that, aren't we, British? I don't think there's... Okay, what else have we got in here? Right, okay, I would also, people should start talking about 1122, because that needs to be, to some extent, at least dealt with before we can implement the Leica factory properly. Yes, now we have like 10 minutes or so left. We should try and review pull requests.
Huh.
Rishab, your that 1041 has conflicted.
Yeah, that's what I just checked currently, and it's showing me it's up to date on my local machine. I think there's some problem there. We'll talk about it later.
I don't know what changed or what's conflicted, but you just need to merge master into it.
Yeah, I actually tried doing that. It shows it's up to date.
Have you fetched upstream?
I
Do you
did.
fetch
Yes.
upstream? Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, I
that's
did
weird
that.
then. Don't know. See what happens when I do it.
Isn't this isn't 1122 kind of solved-ish?
Gonna go with no.
Is it?
Well, if we think about maps and MapCube, for example, or map, well, I guess composite map is kind of weirder because it mixes different things. But what I would expect from a MapCube is, in MapCube we keep the original maps, right? So you can get the metadata of the original maps, and then we have a higher level version of the keywords which are broken out, right? Like observatory, blah blah blah.
Not bits we do. Do we? Can't remember.
Well, we probably should.
Yeah, wouldn't necessarily disagree with that. No, there are no metadata attributes.
Okay. Well, we need to fix.
I did have a thought, going off on a little tangent here. I did think that we could implement a bit of witchcraft that allows you to broadcast any operation which is an attribute or a method of generic map on a map cube. So you could do mapcube.rotate, and it would return you a map cube where it had applied rotate on every map in the map cube.
Oh.
And the same goes with resample, submap, everything.
Is that worthwhile? I mean, wouldn't it be really easy to just have a for loop that says, for map in maps, map out rotate?
So what I would do is I would write a piece of magic that I would overload get attribute of the mapcube class. So when you try to access an attribute of the mapcube class, which is either an attribute or a method, they're the same thing. So when you try to access it, if it doesn't exist in mapcube, but it does exist in generic map, it will run that for you and return the result.
Mm.
Just an idea.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to light curve.
Yeah, so what I was thinking is, essentially we have some of these, which currently for light curve we don't have these like higher level broken out metadata, right? Like instrument we have for map, right? And then we only update those. And updating them would be fairly easy because, start time, end time. You would just change them.
Yes, we'd need some underlying representation though. Or do them as private attributes.
Well, the way metadata from the different.
You keep those. You would keep those somehow.
Yeah, you need some association between those and the data, right? That's the trouble. Because when you end up with one light curve, right? So you need to know which meta applies to which part of the data. Because otherwise, you just have a list of methods. You don't know what it means.
You just have a dictionary with a time range object and the metadata dictionary.
Yeah, maybe you could do that.
And then you could have a get metadata function where you specify a time, and for every key in the dictionary, it does, is this time in the time range? If yes, return the value.
Yeah.
So you could index meta. You could have a .meta attribute. We could make a light curve meta class. We can make a light curve meta class that holds the global metadata like instrument, start time, end time, etc. as private attributes accessible and settable via properties of that class, and then have a underlying .meta attribute that is a dictionary that maps dictionaries to time range objects, and then if you index the light curve meta class using getItem, we can return the correct meta object for that time. And then we can define the ability to add these light curve meta objects together, so that if you do light curve meta 1 plus light curve meta 2, it adds the instances of the metadata objects to the meta dictionary and then changes the global metadata links. See, that will work. I better write that down before I forget it.
Yeah, something like that might work. What about if you then truncated the light curve?
If you what?
Or then try to truncate your light curve, for example. Could we handle that?
Well, I would argue that if you truncate the light curve, you could keep the metadata. You'd have to.
I suppose you could, because you still have the time range object.
It's a superset, right? Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah. The metadata would be a superset.
Yeah,
and actually, that's quite good because it shows you where the data's come from.
Well,
Yeah, it could be a little weird, especially if the truncate happens sort of behind the scene. You don't realize that it's happened.
Yeah, but from a user's perspective, if they don't realize it's happened, then why are they indexing the meta object to get time which is outside of the time range object? It's not going to break any functionality. It's just going to do weird things. You could catch it if you really wanted to stop that behavior. The easiest thing to do would be when you index the light curve meta object, you check whether the time is in between the start time and the end time for the metadata object. And if it isn't, you explode, even though the metadata objects held in the all metas dictionary are for a longer time range than the parent metadata object. Dear God, this is complicated.
I think we're starting to try to design how we want to deal with metadata in general, right? Which is a problem throughout if it's SunPy, not just a light curve. And in some ways, we actually have this problem less in light curve because we are so bad at getting metadata for the light curve, right? Because it's in such a messy form.
We design our own standard metas for each, like for the higher level thing, right? Which,
yeah,
that's not too difficult.
Yeah,
but
the way
have to be done by hand.
Yeah, I mean, the way that I kind of always thought about it is the way we're kind of headed with map, which is that with map we've got the fits header, which is saved, and then we pull out some of the key, metadata keywords into our own keywords, right? So instra becomes instrument and blah, 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 right? And then, and I always thought that we would kind of eventually define a unified meta header, which we could then have procedures to export to, for example, a fits header, right? We would know the translation between our keywords and the standard fits keywords, for example, and we would essentially just keep around the original fits headers, just and so those are meta keywords would be the ones that get updated and stuff as we change things. We don't touch the original ones, and then when we want to export or something, then we have this translation to go to header, a fits header from ours that have been kept up to date. That's sort of how I've always thought, the path going forward would be.
Yeah. It works easier for map, right? Because it's a list of maps, so the association is clear between the map and the fits headers that you imported in the first place.
Right.
In Lightcurve, we don't have that.
Yeah. But we could go that route as well, right? That's also, it would just
Yeah.
be more work to pull out because sometimes there's very little header data
Yeah.
in these things.
Yeah. In some cases, we'll have to basically write it ourselves.
Yeah. So I kind of think of us like the meta. We would kind of eventually create some sort of header object, which has all of our properties that we defined, and that would be the same across both maps and light curves and blah blah blah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see that working.
Yeah. So what I would say for this fix for 0.6, since we're nowhere near, implementing that, is for 0.6, this should be fairly easy. We do the same thing as we do for map. We create some standard fit like keywords, start time, end time, observatory. We populate them for each of them, and then we can fix this problem, which is if you merge the two, then we update them properly.
Yep.
And we keep whatever original garbage is there for each one.
We just dump it in a list, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah, I mean, I think you're right. We're not going to fix all of this for 0.6. So we should do something.
Yeah. But we can solve this fairly easily, I would say, this issue with this proposed fix. How does that sound to everyone?
I think it's progress, which is good.
What metadata attributes in Lightcurve do we want global and managed when we merge them? Which ones do we want to update? Which ones do we want as our own attributes?
So you definitely need time range, like start and end, and you need instrument, an observatory.
Wavelength.
Yeah. We could just start with the real basics.
Yeah, I mean basically the ones that are in map right now, right? Just use that as a starting point.
Yeah.
Okay. I have an idea. I will flesh it out, and I have an idea for an intermediate fix that allows us to do basically just a fancy way of keeping tabs on the dictionaries for each of the maps when we add them together, each of the Lycos when we add them together.
Okay.
In a nice way. Presents a neat API for doing it. I will flesh it out and add it to the SEP during the 25th to 27th hour of today.
Well, so that's all of them, right? That's all the issues for 0.6.
Yeah.
And so the idea is we want coordinates in 0.6. So if coordinates is not ready, we would probably delay 0.6. The light curve factory and downloader, would we delay 0.6 for that? I would say let's accept the downloader, and then we can push the factory. If you said it's easy, but
I will delay for downloader and maybe for light curve depending on how things go. But
yeah.
I would potentially release 0.6 without the light curve factory.
Okay.
There is a question of how do we deal with the code duplication in that? Do we just keep two versions of the downloader code for one version? A version in downloader and a version in Lightcurve? Or do we somehow make the current Lightcurve API patch into the new downloader? I know which one of the two I prefer.
I would patch it in.
Yeah.
And that way we don't have code.
The point is that I reckon. Well, if you're going to spend time patching it in, you might as well just spend time rewriting Leica, right?
Yeah, because that could be a lot of work if we switch to something we're going to change anyway.
Well, I mean, I think the issue is patching is easy because there's no like design to do.
But I've already done the design. The design's in the SEP.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, okay.
Seriously, the Leica factory is nothing more than a glorified copy and paste the map factory and change some stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we can deal with this issue.
If someone else did it, but I will probably do it if needs be. Anyway, we can cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the list of things that are here for 0.6 is probably good.
We should really look in more detail at Dan Ryan's code. He's got a big extent on that he's probably wondering what on earth has happened to it.
Yeah, I was chatting to him about it at SunPy.
Okay.
Oh, could we add my my plotting, my peak fix to 0.6 ER?
Oh yes, we can. Ding. Ding. We should assign people 0.6 issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything should be assigned. David, you take the quantity stuff.
Sorry, say that again?
I said I assign you the quantity pull requests.
Sure.
You can babysit 0.6.
Yeah, I was going to look at it anyway.
I will assign that to myself, much against my better judgment. And he can have his Fermi one. Steve can have his time range one. I will have that. David can have that. He already has that. David can have that. Albert gets that because he was whining about it. You can fix it. Okay, everything in 0.6 has an owner. If you add anything to 0.6, give it an owner so that we have someone to blame. Oh, there is one thing missing from this, which is the JSON magic. I really must finish that. People have a quick look at 1041. There's a conflict on it at the moment, but people reviewing 1041 would be nice. I have a branch of further improvements to 1041, but I want to merge 1041 first because I don't have time to do it currently. So we merged 1041 at the moment. I will continue working on my improvements for 1041 and write the tests for them, and then issue a separate pull request.
Wait, so is 1041 going to be 0.6?
Yes.
Okay.
And hopefully so will my changes. What to do. What to do.
Seems like you're putting a lot on your plate.
I don't need weekends, it's fine. I need a list. I need a list.
Okay, sorry, but I'm going to have to go. Could you, Stuart, could you email me where the files are going to be, the URL? That's what you're going to tell me, right?
Yep.
Okay. The way I was going to code it up is actually, we can have multiple servers, so it'll just check. If it doesn't file the file on the server, then it'll look to the next server.
Yeah, fine. Yes, AstroPy have this goes for the gallery as well. If you look at the AstroPy tutorials repo, they have some information on getting hold of remote data for the gallery, which is something I want to implement for the gallery. It would also probably work quite well for getting at the demo data.
Okay.
So that might be worth taking a look at.
Okay, could you send me a link for that as well, please? Because I will probably forget.
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, well, thanks, everyone. Happy Labor Day.
See you.
See you guys later.
Bye. See you later.
So while we're here, I should quickly mention, as you all know anyway, the next week I'm talking to some of the Solar Orbiter guys about SunPy. Thanks to David for suggesting it. So I'm putting together, my presentation stuff. If there's anyone has any ideas of what we should do or what we should focus on, then that's great.
Yes. Andy, we have to look at the website, because they have at least the summary talks of each of the meetings.
Yep.
That are like a small. It's like Peter have been done over the last few meetings. They have like a final kind of presentation, kind of giving information about everything that has been discussed. And there's a lot of points that we should look into that and see how we can tackle them.
Yeah, we can look at what their critical issues are, and then we can sell SunPy for those issues.
They have had a lot of discussion about data format, and there right now we don't have CDF, I think, in SunPy, but I think that CDF there's a
SciPy package for it.
There's a SciPy. Is it what?
I looked at integrating CDF into SunPy.io. It doesn't really fit.
So guys, what is CDF?
No. It's a data file used mostly for in situ.
Okay.
Data. So, but there is a lot of instruments in situ there, so that could be something that. But we could look into that, or we can advertise that, as Stuart said, there is in SciPy, there's the ability to read that. And then, we have to look into that. We should maybe. I will try to look at that as well tomorrow, and try to make a kind of a list of things that we should look.
Yeah. The thing with SunPy IO is the assumptions we make in SunPy IO don't necessarily fit with the general netCDF file format. Now, specific netCDF files, we could make assumptions about the CDF format and make it fit into SunPy IO, but it would probably be better to keep CDF read and write outside of SunPy IO. But we'd have to cross that bridge when we get.
Definitely, I don't think that we should go into that world yet.
See you later.
But Solar Orbiter is going to be launched in 3 years, so we have time to think how that will affect us. But just to tell the potential that we have, that would be the aim of this meeting.
Yeah. Have they, David? You know, because you're on in this group as well. Have they heard a lot about SunPy before, like from you and from others?
Yeah, well, I've never been personally in a meeting, but Peter has been trying to represent me in all of them. And the thing is that at the beginning, the first meeting they have a discussion of whether to use IDL or something else. That discussion lasts 20 seconds.
Oh, and they decided
and they decide IDL.
Yeah.
But that was mostly on the on the testing phase. So what they have to do now, so how they have to design or test all the data, the demo data they are producing and all those stuff. You know, like they have the kind of pseudo flares, and then they have tried to detect it and knowing this test data that they are building and the code that they have to build, because anyway they're building the code in IDL and they have to translate it into some kind of C that they're going to use in the satellite.
Right, because the satellite, yeah.
They are not. They haven't worked, as far as I know, they haven't worked on the calibration analysis or in the pipeline that they're going to do once that we get the data on Earth, and that's where we have to show that we can do that.
Right. So they might. There's still potential they would be interested in doing their pipeline.
I'm sure. It's just that the people, they don't want to learn something else.
Yeah.
They're using SVN. They're using SVN.
Oh, really?
And just because IDL 8 contains SVN integration. And they upgrade to IDL 8 just because these things. You know, it's.
Yeah.
Oh, I was so angry 2 years ago when I was hearing all this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it sounds like. Well, we can do a bit of salesmanship, hopefully. So
I think that it will be worth to show like how SunPy, the workflow of SunPy, for example. Just a 2 minutes, or like how GitHub works and how we work in GitHub. I think that will be really helpful for them to see how is our workflow.
Yeah, that'd be a really good idea if they're on
but that's not just SunPy. That's how it's GitHub development stuff. And then I will take a look at the docs again and see kind of label stuff and make some kind of notes and send it to you and the rest of the people.
Yeah, anything would be great. So I'm thinking, so an overview of SunPy would also be like, so I'm thinking of a presentation whereby the first part is, an overview of SunPy, and then the second part is how can SunPy work with Solar Orbiter.
Yeah.
I agree with David in that we should probably focus on the whole workflow thing, because we're selling more than just SunPy, right? We're selling Scientific Python and GitHub.
Yeah, we're selling the whole environment. Yeah.
Also, don't forget to look up the AstroPy CCD proc sub package, which is a package for CCD calibration.
Oh, right. Yeah, I think that package is actually in ESAR. So it's like a NASA umbrella code. So some of them might be familiar with it already. Maybe. For all things in IDL, maybe not. Yeah, all right. Well, I'm working on that this week. I'm also technically supposed to bring a poster to this meeting. That's coming a bit.
And we should be able. We should be careful, Noel. We should be careful with the language, and don't try to dismiss IDL, because I know people that in the time that you say dismissing IDL, they will just block and don't hear.
Yeah. We don't want to. Yeah, we don't want to be negative.
So,
it's all positivity.
Yeah, we have to be more like a. Yeah.
Yeah, the IDL is great.
Not our real soul. We have to hide ourselves.
Yes. Yeah, I think. Yeah, I agree. That should be fine.
Okay. And the other thing I wanted to mention, I sent an email around. I don't know if you've seen it. The semester of code. I still haven't read much, but I have still to read about it more.
Yeah, I need to rewrite that too.
Okay.
All right. Should get going.
Cool.
Yep. Cool. Thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.